In August 2023, 3 houses on a quiet Pennsylvania street vanished in 1 second. Not burned, not damaged. Vanished. No storm, no plane, no gas truck. The thing that erased them was sitting calmly in a basement, and there is one just like it in your home right now. Today, 12 ordinary objects with a dark hobby. Stay for number 9. It fits in your junk drawer. Plum, Pennsylvania, August 2023. The kind of street where the biggest drama is a neighbor mowing his lawn diagonally. For days, one family had been arguing with their hot water tank. It wasn't heating right, it was acting up, it was moody. And here's the thing, nobody tells you at the hardware store. A water heater is not an appliance. It's a very patient bomb that you shower with. 50 gallons of water sealed in a steel can, sitting on a flame. If the relief valve clogs and the thermostat sticks, that water quietly climbs past the boiling point and just waits. The moment the tank gives up, all of it flashes into steam and expands about 1,600 times in a heartbeat. Engineers call it a BLEVE. Everyone else calls it, where did the house go? That Saturday morning, the tank stopped waiting. The blast didn't damage the home. It deleted it, along with the 2 houses next door. Windows shattered across the block, debris rained streets away, and 5 people from that quiet street were permanently excused from all future appointments. And if you think that's a 1 in a billion event, let me take you to Alabama, where a 55-year-old real estate broker had a water heater with a lazy pilot light. Instead of calling a professional, cost of the visit, about $100. He leaned in close and clicked the igniter himself. The gas that had been quietly pooling around the tank gladly accepted his invitation. He got 4 more days on the calendar, and his family got a $50 million verdict. Officially, the most expensive click in Alabama history. So if your shower suddenly turns into a kettle, or your tank starts popping like it's making popcorn, that's not a quirk. That's a countdown with bad manners. Go look at your water heater today. It's already looking at you. Now meet the most honest object in your house, the garage door spring. It doesn't pretend to be safe. It's a steel coil wound so tight, it stores roughly the same energy as a car rolling down the highway, compressed into something the size of a baguette. Every time your garage door floats up like it weighs nothing, that's the spring doing a 200-pound deadlift without asking for applause. And every single day, somewhere in America, a man looks at that coil and thinks, I own a screwdriver. How hard can it be? In New York, even a professional found out. According to the official state investigation report, the torsion springs on a heavy commercial-style door had been installed wrong. During testing, the door didn't rise. It launched, like it suddenly remembered it had somewhere better to be. It smashed into the scissor lift the mechanic was standing on, the lift tipped, and the man left the job site in the least vertical way possible. That was a trained specialist. Amateurs manage worse. There is an actual medical study, a real paper, written by real eye surgeons, describing 7 patients who tried DIY spring repair and earned what doctors politely call open globe injuries. That is the clinical way of saying the spring came off the shaft at bullet speed and had a very personal conversation with their eyeball. One guy got his eye socket and jaw rearranged in a single second, completely free of charge. Around 35,000 garage door injuries a year. And the punchline? A professional replacement costs about $200. A new eyeball, last time I checked, is not available on Amazon, not even with Prime. And understand this about the coil. It doesn't get tired. It doesn't rust into mercy. And it absolutely does not care that you watched the tutorial twice. It's been holding its breath for 10 years, waiting for one confident man with the wrong screwdriver. That spring has been sitting in tension for years, holding a grudge. Don't give it a reason. Goshen, Indiana. Benjamin Ledford, 33 years old, doing the most extreme sport known to modern man, laundry. The villain of this story is not a machine, not a wire, not gas. It's fluff, lint. That soft gray cotton candy you scrape off the filter. The stuff so harmless looking you could stuff a teddy bear with it. Here's what the label never mentions. Lint is basically napalm's shy little cousin. It's dry, it's fine, it's fibrous, and it catches fire faster than gossip spreads in a small town. The filter inside the door catches maybe most of it. The rest sails into the vent pipe behind the machine, where it settles, layer by layer, year after year, like plaque in an artery. And one day, the dryer's heating element meets a clogged artery. In Benjamin's house, that meeting happened in the basement. The fluff in the vent pipe lit up, the fire spread, and the smoke filled the lower floor faster than anyone can react. He was down there when it happened, and the staircase to fresh air suddenly became the longest staircase in the world. He never got to the top of it, from a piece of fluff. Let that sink in. Not a chainsaw, not a motorcycle, not a shark. Laundry day. And this is not some freak lottery ticket. American fire departments respond to roughly 2,900 dryer fires every single year, and the #1 cause, decade after decade, is exactly this. Nobody cleans the vent. So here's your homework, and it's pathetically easy. Pull the dryer out. Look at the pipe. If what comes out looks like a dead cat made of dust, congratulations. You just fired your house's most patient arsonist. And while you're back there, swap that plastic accordion hose for a rigid metal duct. Fluff clings to those plastic ridges like tourists to a gift shop. Total cost, almost nothing, and 10 minutes of your life. Cheapest exorcism on the market. Picture the most innocent moment of your day. A man wants instant coffee. He puts a cup of water in the microwave, hits 2 minutes, watches the cup spin like a tiny carousel of happiness. The timer beeps. He opens the door, notices the water isn't even bubbling. Typical, he thinks, cheap microwave, and grabs the cup. And that's when the water, calm and flat 1 second earlier, explodes in his face like a geyser with anger issues. First and second degree burns across his entire face. Permanent scars. Lasting damage to his left eye. And the best part? The doctor at the hospital shrugged and said, "This is a fairly common occurrence." Fairly common. Welcome to superheating, the physics party trick nobody invited you to. Water normally needs rough spots, tiny scratches, imperfections, to form bubbles and boil. A smooth, clean, maybe brand new cup has none. So in a microwave, the water quietly heats past its boiling point, past 100 degrees, while looking as peaceful as a mountain lake. It becomes a liquid mousetrap. It doesn't need much. A tiny bump, a spoon of coffee dropped in, the audacity of you picking it up. Any of that snaps the trap, and the entire cup flashes into steam and boiling spray in a fraction of a second, right at face height, because of course you're looking at it. Nobody inspects their coffee from across the room. And this is not a one-off freak show. Burn units know this phenomenon by name, and safety agencies have been printing warnings about superheated water for decades, which would be far more helpful if anyone in human history had ever read a warning printed by a safety agency. The fix is so stupid it hurts. Put a wooden stir stick or anything non-metallic in the cup before heating, or just let it sit in the microwave for a minute after the beep. That's it. That's the whole survival guide. A wooden stick. The same technology that defeated vampires, now protecting your face from a cup of coffee. Science is beautiful. Your morning routine, apparently, is armed. Colorado, 2019. Georgina Perez is cooking beans. I want you to appreciate how aggressively normal that sentence is. She's using a Sunbeam Crock multi-cooker, a bestseller, the kind of thing every second kitchen in America owns, and she is following the manual, not improvising. Not hacking it. Following the instructions like a model citizen. 20 minutes after cooking, right on schedule, she goes to release the steam. And the machine, this cheerful kitchen assistant with rounded corners and a friendly LED screen, decides that today it identifies as artillery. The lid blows off. Not pops off. Blows. A pressure cooker runs at roughly twice the pressure of your car tire, filled with liquid hotter than boiling. Because under pressure, water can climb past 100 degrees and still stay liquid. The moment that lid lets go, all of it flashes outward in a wave of scalding soup shrapnel. Georgina caught it with her face and chest. Burns over 13% of her body. More than 5 square feet of skin grafts. Surgeons basically had to reupholster her. She spent months in treatment for the crime of making dinner. The jury looked at the safety lid lock that was supposed to make opening it under pressure impossible, looked at what was left of the instructions she followed, and handed down $55.5 million, which makes those the most expensive beans ever cooked by a human being, somewhere north of $10 million per portion, so respect the pot. If the lid resists, it's not being stubborn. It's holding back a storm. Never force it, never bypass the lock, and maybe stand to the side like it owes you money. Oh, and that rubber sealing ring inside the lid? It ages. A worn ring is a ticket to the same fireworks show, so replace it yearly. It costs less than the beans. Because your dinner should end with dessert, not with a settlement. Chesterfield, Virginia, 2025. Kevin Capel, a military veteran, a man professionally trained for danger, survives deployments, comes home, and gets ambushed in his own bathroom by a door. He finishes a hot shower, reaches for the glass door, slides it open, and the entire panel detonates. Not cracks, not chips. Detonates into thousands of glass pebbles, all over a wet, very surprised man. Cut foot, blood everywhere. A call for help, surgery, stitches. And Kevin is not special. The Consumer Product Safety Commission collected over 6,000 complaints about spontaneously exploding shower doors in just 4 years. Thousands of people ended up in emergency rooms because their bathroom decided to go full action movie. Here's the creepy part. The reason. Tempered glass sometimes contains a microscopic impurity called a nickel sulfide inclusion, a speck, smaller than a grain of salt. It gets baked into the glass at the factory, and then it sits there, silently, slowly changing its crystal structure over months or years. As it changes, it swells, just a tiny bit. Inside glass that's already loaded with internal tension like a wound-up spring. And one completely random day, maybe after a hot shower warms the panel, the speck pushes a fraction too far, and the whole door lets go at once. That's why nobody can predict it. Your shower door might be fine for 10 years. It might be rehearsing right now. A tiny defect from the factory, sleeping in the glass like a landmine with a snooze button. And no, this is not a cheap door problem. The specs don't check price tags. Premium bathrooms explode with exactly the same enthusiasm as budget ones. The marble just makes the echo classier. The fix? A cheap safety film on the glass keeps the pebbles together if it ever blows, and framed doors hold their pieces better than frameless ones. Small money. Because the only thing that should be dramatic in your shower is your singing. Oakland, California, 2010. A family's power gets cut off, so they engineer a solution. A heavy outdoor extension cord dangled over the second-floor balcony, plugged into the downstairs neighbor's outlet. Free electricity delivered by gravity. And to that one cord, they connected a whole ecosystem. A TV, a stereo, lamps, appliances, Christmas lights, a daisy chain of cheap cords feeding cheaper cords, thick wires into thin ones, like plugging a fire hose into a drinking straw and hoping the straw doesn't notice. Every joint in that chain became a little heater. Every thin wire carried a load it was never built for. At 2 in the morning, while everyone slept, one of those connections finally sparked, and the spark found the furniture. And here's the detail that turns this from an accident into a tragedy. The apartment had no working smoke alarms. None. So the fire got a generous head start. No alarm, no warning, just smoke moving through dark rooms while everyone stayed asleep. By sunrise, that apartment had nothing left to say, and 3 tenants never checked out, because they never got the chance to check anything at all. The extension cord isn't the villain because it's evil. It's the villain because it's humble. It never says no. You keep plugging things in, and it keeps nodding, getting warmer and warmer under the carpet where you can't see it blush. The Safety Commission counts about 4,600 home fires a year started by extension cords. Cords that quietly retire about 70 Americans annually. The rules are boring and life-saving. No daisy chains, no cords under rugs, no permanent temporary setups. An extension cord is a guest. If it's been living in your wall socket for a year, it's not a guest anymore. It's a tenant with matches. And check the rating. A cord built for a lamp will happily serve a space heater the same way a paper cup will happily hold lava. Once. In 2021, America discovered that a $4,300 luxury treadmill had a hobby, collecting things. The Peloton Tread Plus. A gorgeous machine. Touchscreen bigger than your first TV. Subscription trainers yelling motivation at you. Turned out to have a generous gap under its rear end. And whatever came near that gap, the belt grabbed it, pulled it under, and kept running. The Federal Safety Commission gathered over 70 reports. Exercise balls, eaten. Laundry, eaten. Household objects, eaten. Pets, dragged under. Grown adults, yanked off their feet and pulled beneath a machine that weighs as much as a motorcycle and does not have a conscience. We're talking broken bones, third-degree friction burns, injuries you'd expect from industrial equipment, not from a lifestyle brand. Because that's what a treadmill is when you strip away the app and the playlist. An industrial conveyor belt that we voluntarily keep in our bedrooms, pointed at our furniture, running at 20 kilometers per hour, with a motor that does not check what it's pulling. The company's first reaction to the Safety Commission was, let's say, you can't tell me what to do energy. That aged like milk in a sauna. Within weeks came the full recall. 125,000 treadmills called home, an apology from the CEO admitting they got it wrong, and a new safety lock on every machine. So if you own any treadmill, the back of it is not a storage zone, not a pet lounge, not a place where anything soft should ever be. Pull the safety key when you're done. That machine has one job, running. And it genuinely cannot tell the difference between the belt moving under your shoes and the belt swallowing your bathrobe. It's not smart, it's just strong. Bad combination. Ask anyone who's dated. Massachusetts, 2019. A Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant. Closing time, floors getting cleaned. Somebody spills one cleaning product onto a floor where another cleaning product has already been used. 2 bottles that live on the same shelf. 2 labels that both say kills 9% of germs. Nobody mixed anything on purpose. One puddle simply met another puddle. And where those puddles shook hands, the floor started to bubble and turned green. Actual green, like a cartoon villain's laboratory. The manager, 32-year-old Ryan Baldera, did the responsible thing. He grabbed a squeegee and went to clean it up. The cloud rising off that floor was chlorine gas, the same family of chemistry that emptied trenches in World War I, and it filled his lungs in seconds. Ryan clocked out of that shift, and every shift after it, permanently. 10 more people, workers and customers, left in ambulances. Now here's why this belongs in a video about your home and not a chemistry lecture. The exact same reaction is waiting under your kitchen sink. Bleach plus ammonia, which hides in tons of glass cleaners, makes chloramine gas. Bleach plus vinegar, bleach plus certain descalers and toilet cleaners, chlorine gas. No open flame, no warning, no drama. Just 2 humble liquids meeting in a bucket because someone believed that 2 strong cleaners equal 1 super cleaner. Chemistry doesn't do teamwork. Chemistry does reactions, and reactions don't read the inspirational quotes on the label. Poison Control logged around 3,500 chloramine exposures in a single year. Thousands of people gassing themselves in the name of hygiene. The rule costs nothing. 1 cleaner at a time, ever. Rinse in between. Open a window. Your bathroom does not need to be that clean. Nobody is inspecting your toilet with a microscope. And if they are, honestly, that's a separate problem. Fort Collins, Colorado. Dave Miller is the kind of homeowner insurance companies dream about. Smoke detectors? Checked and maintained. Batteries swapped on schedule. Old 9-volt batteries. Not tossed in the trash. No, sir. Placed neatly in a paper bag for recycling, because Dave is responsible. Dave recycles. The bag sat in a closet for 2 weeks, minding its own business. Then one evening, a laundry basket bumped the bag. 2 9-volt batteries shifted, leaned into each other, and touched terminals. See, the 9-volt is the only battery in your house with both contacts on the same end, sitting side by side like 2 buttons begging to be pressed at once. Any metal, a paperclip, steel wool, or the terminals of its battery neighbor bridges them instantly into a short circuit. A dead battery, by the way, is rarely dead. It's just too tired to run your smoke detector. For starting a fire? Plenty of juice left in the tank. So 2 dead batteries kissed inside a paper bag. Nature's kindling. Inside a closet, and Dave's house burned to the ground. The whole house. From batteries he'd removed for safety reasons. The man protected his home so responsibly that the safety equipment's leftovers torched it. If irony were a crime, this case would get life without parole. Investigators confirmed it. Inside Edition ran the story. Fire departments across the country now use it as a warning. The fix costs literally 1 piece of tape. Cover the terminals of every loose 9-volt before storing or tossing it. That's it. Tape. Your junk drawer right now. that chaos of batteries, paper clips, keys, and steel scissors is a lottery ticket. And this is one lottery where winning means losing your mailing address. So open that drawer tonight, find the 9 volts, and tape them. 90 seconds of work. The only home improvement project in history with a 100% success rate. Texas. A woman is baking a peach cobbler, possibly the least threatening activity in the Western Hemisphere. She sprays the baking dish with Pam cooking spray, sets the can down on a wooden cart next to the stove, and slides the cobbler into the oven. Domestic bliss. Smells like cinnamon. And then the can, just sitting there, not being sprayed, not being touched, explodes into flames. Second and third degree burns across 27% of her upper body. And one of her eyes never worked again, from a can of cooking spray. From the peaceful little cylinder with sunflowers on the label. Here's what the sunflowers don't tell you. To push that oil out of the nozzle, manufacturers pack the can with propellant, butane and propane. Yes, that propane. Lighter fuel. Camping stove fuel. You are essentially holding a tiny flamethrower cartridge with a picture of grilled vegetables on it. As long as it stays cool, it behaves. But leave it next to a working stove, on top of the fridge near a sunny window, or on that convenient shelf above the burner's wear. Be honest. Yours is standing right now, and the pressure inside starts climbing. The can swells, the seams give, and the escaping propellant finds the nearest flame and turns your kitchen into a surprise birthday party where the surprise is a fireball. She's not alone. An Ohio woman got a face full of fire the same way. Restaurant workers in Colorado were hospitalized, and there's a whole nationwide pile of lawsuits from people whose cans went off near heat. The rule fits on a sticky note. Flammable means flammable, even between uses. Cooking spray lives in the pantry. Cool, dark, away from the stove. Like the tiny gas canister it secretly is. And while you're relocating it, look at the rest of the squad. Hairspray, deodorant, air freshener, WD-40. Same propellants, same strong opinions about heat. That shelf above your radiator is a munitions depot with nicer packaging. The sunflowers are a costume. Nottinghamshire, England, 2022. Eric Unwin was 91 years old. Think about everything a man born in the early 1930s made it through. The Second World War, rationing, the Cold War, every flu, every winter, 7 decades of British weather, which is its own achievement. 91 years of successfully staying alive. And the thing that finally came for him wasn't any of history's greatest hits. It was his electric blanket. At 3:48 in the morning, while he slept, the old blanket's wiring failed and set the bed alight. By the time fire crews arrived, flames were already pushing out of the bedroom window and through the roof. Eric never got to complain about the cold again. The smoke made sure the morning went on without him. And that's the signature move of the electric blanket. It doesn't attack you awake. It waits for the one state where you can't smell smoke, deep sleep, and it's already wrapped around you. You've pre-hugged the fire. In the US alone, electric blankets and heating pads spark thousands of fires a year, and the villains are almost always the veterans. Blankets over 10 years old, no overheat protection, wires fatigued from years of folding and creasing into the same tired lines. Every fold is a future break. Every break is a little heater with no thermostat. So do the audit tonight. If your blanket is older than your smartphone, if it has scorch marks, if the cord is cracked, if it came from a decade when smoking on airplanes was legal, retire it. Warm the bed, then switch it off before you drift off. 91 years of surviving everything the 20th century could throw at a man. Undone by bedding. So warm the sheets, then kill the switch and let the duvet handle the night shift. It's low-tech, but a duvet has never once caught fire out of boredom. The universe has a dark sense of humor, and apparently it sleeps warm. 12 household objects, 0 mercy. Your home isn't trying to get you. It's just waiting for permission. So check the vent, tape the batteries, respect the tank. Subscribe so the next hidden danger doesn't catch you in the shower. And comment which of these 12 is sitting in your house right now. Be honest. I know about the cooking spray.